Okay.
All right, go. Happy birthday, Auntie Auring,
My,
from us to you. Yes.
thank you. My dear relatives and friends, good evening. I'm overwhelmed with happiness for this singular blessing the Almighty has granted me, which is this much delayed celebration of my 90th birthday, which should have taken place last August 26th of last year, but deadly COVID-19 intervened. With all of you then as witness, I lift up to the Lord my deepest gratitude for this rare gift of awesome 90 years to my eventful life. And with your condescension, then, let me walk with you down the memory lanes of my life. I was born to parents, excuse me. I was born to parents, Segundo L. Lazo, a geodetic engineer, and Maria X. Lazo, a teacher in Densalan, Lanao, known as Marawi City today, with two brothers and three sisters, of whom I and my sister Conception are now the only ones living. For a while, we all lived in San Ildefonso, Ilocosur, hometown of my father, till before the outbreak of the war in December 1941. In the years from 1943, life was difficult in San Ildefonso. So my family broke into two groups, for each group. I, with my two brothers and two sisters, and a brother, went to Barrio Baligayan, San Quintin, Pangasinan, to our well-off aunties, where I had the best memories of my life. While there, more out of curiosity, we learned to catch shrimps, snails, even live frogs. Sold almost anything around the barrio with baskets on our heads. Learned to harvest palay and pound same to rice. Cross springs with water up to our necks and run after crabs in the muddy fields. All this ended, of course, with the end of World War II in 1945. Thereafter, we returned to Gigan, Ilocosur to finish our secondary schooling. In 1953, I went to Manila, enrolled at the University of Santo Tomas, and got a BS Pharmacy degree. Passed the board exam the following year, got a pharmacist job in a doctor's clinic, and worked for several years. Then I transferred to a public institution known as the Bureau of Forestry, where I worked prior to coming abroad. In 1967, I met an old friend by chance who was on vacation from abroad. She advised me to file an application, which I did, but it took 4 years in the waiting for approval. At that time, I was an officer of a Catholic organization known as Legion of Mary. I had to write an annual report, and it's a week's time before my departure. My father, seeing I had done nothing about my luggages, was so upset, blurted out, and his exact words were, "What can that Legion of Mary do for you or help you with? You are almost to go abroad in a week's time, but haven't packed nothing yet." His admonition was true, but I kept silent. Instead, I prayed to the Blessed Mother, asked her to not make it hard for me to find and land a good paying job. True indeed, my prayer was granted. For not even a month's time looking for a job, I got it. A good one, a good paying one at that, with the Pacific Bell of San Francisco. I came to America in 1971 before the martial law years. I landed first in San Francisco, where my first job was at the Pacific Bell. In 1972, upon the advice of my now deceased dear cousin Ildefonso Lazo, I transferred to Los Angeles, California, where I now have a permanent residence at Silva Street, Lakewood. Here, my first employment was in Memorial Hospital, Long Beach, as a pharmacy technician. And finally, after passing the California Pharmacy Board of Exam, I landed as pharmacist at Harbor Hospital, now known as UCLA Medical Center of Torrance, California, where I retired in 2001. My memories include my achievements, like bringing here my three sisters as immigrants, but were never able to work for the wait was 20 years and were too aged for employment when they finally arrived. My most emotional memory is that of my parents who, with dollars I sent dutifully, would swagger, according to my information, at the marketplace. And my father would say aloud for anyone to hear, bilin mo na yan, ilang dollars lang yan. Meaning, buy it now. It's just a few dollars worth. With that, I felt a peace that my loneliness in faraway USA was therefore not in vain. But what I consider as my major achievement is helping my family in their financial woes. My work as pharmacist here included working in three shifts. My sister Conception, now new to USA, was shocked when I told her that I was at a graveyard sick from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. That she nervously blurted out, ano, embalsamador ka na? Other activities include constant eat-outs in all you can with friends and relatives, attending seminars on investments, exercising like Zumba, and dancing at senior centers, sightseeing the U.S. beauty spots, and the apex of all activities was the travel tours I joined to countries all over the world. Finally, I wish to acknowledge with gratitude my relatives and close friends who solicitously check on me from time to time as I live alone and who graciously take on tasks and errands for me whenever necessary. This, my relatives and friends, summarizes my existence up to now in this, my adopted country, with my happiness at its utmost in this gathering where you are kindly present to enjoy with me this wonderful, godly gift of 90 years of life. Therefore, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks, appreciation, and gratitude to the following people who unselfishly given their time and effort for the success of this gathering. Foremost of which is my niece, Joanne Asworth, who shouldered things to be done by coordinating with Alvin Reyes, my planner and creative director, so with Marlene Robbins, Marriott's sales and catering manager. Also, Juan keeps reminding me a little bit of almost everything in connection with this event. She too single-handedly bought and assembled 50 pieces of these highly practical giveaways. Gratitude and thanks also go to Ariel, my DJ and TI, her, my fashion designer, monks for the innovation and prayers before meals, to Omar, to my full of humor, beautician Mary Ann, to my singer with melodious voice, Maria Grace Kutcher, and to all the vendors. And lastly, to others who extended a helping hand, like Belen, my co-pharmacist, who is a friend, advisor, and counselor. Uh, and counselor. Oh, wait, counselor. So once again, dear relatives and friends, thank you most fervently and deeply. Good night, keep safe, and God bless. Amen. The end. The end of my
Amen. 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 Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, thank you.
Amen. 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 Happy birthday. And time to bring in everyone. Let's bring in everyone here now. Yes. Please show your faces. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Kung nandito lang ako, pinagkatay ko kayo ng kambing eh.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Auntie. And may you have more. May you have more by the grace of God. Amen. 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 All right. Just a moment. Just a moment.